This is your daily market review for Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. Hopefully you're having a great week. Again, if you've been paying attention to the channel, you were expecting volatility. You were expecting pullbacks, not because necessarily that everything was just about to collapse in the world, but the market was overbought. The risk reward was now tainted to the downside. We had straight line moved off the bottom. The biggest collapse in history I've ever seen in the VIX complex. Literally everything was lining up for a pullback. So are you surprised when you get it? No. That's the thing. As I talk about with traders, the probability-based game, no, there's not certainty, correct? But when the probability is in your favor, you need to start doing what? Taking profits, managing your risk. And if you're looking to short, define your risk, whatever you need to do. But do not sit here twiddling your thumbs going, well, just because we've been up 11 out of 12 days and just rationalize that it always has to go more. Remember, this goal of yours, if you were trading, especially trading, investing is a little different. Trading is to take the chunk in the middle. It is not to be perfect on the entry and exit. It's to get fat on big bricks of in the middle profits. Again, it's nice to nail the bottom. It's nice to nail the top. But even as my almost 25 years, the odds of me nailing the exact top and the bottom, I've actually studied this, is about 14%. That's why I layer into trades. So if you're thinking that you're always going to be right, always going to be wrong, or sorry, you want to be always right, and you're scared of being wrong, so you have to be perfect. Perfection leads to inaction. And sometimes, again, it's not about being perfect, y'all. It's trying to do the best you can do. So anyway, let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link in the description below. Follow on Twitter, posting all the trades, ideas, thoughts. Hope you enjoy it. If you want to chat, hit me up. Live Zoom chat. If you need, take 30 minutes. Let's do it again. And I will say this again. If you were watching this video on any platform and you have a question about real estate, personally, it makes me sad that you did not reach out to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Again, take the 20, 30 minutes. Let's chat, see how I can help you. If you need an agent, even if you don't need an agent, let's talk about the game planning of what I think you might be able to do. If you want the best, hit me up. If you want advice, again, we can talk about some sort of situation. Make sure you know going into your real estate transaction that you're not being fed a bunch of fluff bull crap from someone who just wants to buy and sell your house. They don't care. And again, when I say they don't care, like they have what's called commission breath. They just need a deal. They want your money. Well, I don't have any incentive other than maybe if you want a referral, I'll get paid a little bit on it. But my goal is to help. So hit me up. Back to basics. Also too, check this out. Videos, recommended reading, all the great stuff on this website. Back to basics also on the website, also on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Get the notifications that these videos are going live and direct. So, okay. What have we talked about, right? There's going to be a rate cut coming in September. Quarter point. I imagine the odds are up a little bit. Ooh, actually, oh, wow. Yeah, not much. No, I thought this would be going up today. No, interesting. Keep an eye on this. Because again, what do we talk about? The Feds aren't cutting rates because things are amazing. They're cutting rates because they're scared of the future. Keep that in mind. The market is always pricing in the future. That's what you must be aware of. Bitcoin. Think about this. We talk about big choppy range. I like Bitcoin. I don't own any personally. I'm more invested in metals. I personally, again, because I know it's not as liquid, but they have a history of success. And I don't want to chase something that was once a dollar up at $60,000. That's hard for me to swallow. But again, people debate me in Bitcoin. I'm like, no, just if it works for you, it works for you. You don't need to sell me on it. But I'm going to be technical about it. And you need to go over this price to really break up to the next level. If not, next range lows should be coming. Oil, people are talking about, oh, it looks like a range bottom. I agree. Just be careful, though. Just be very careful with oil. Because, again, demand destruction, recession potential, all these things come into play. Now, again, geopolitical has been holding up. Yeah, there's definitely a zone here. I mean, look at this bottom here around 72. But could we not come back to 67? Ten cuidado. Natural gas. Again, a lot of people getting excited about natural gas. Could you argue a little head and shoulders bottom? Potentially. But again, as we talked about, demand destruction in commodities is real, right? Again, with the markets near highs, is it possible that they will flush the baby out throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Not saying that natural gas is going to 30 cents, but Could it be that it's just stuck? It's not going anywhere. So that's where you have to be careful. Do you really want to go long something when the market momentum changes? Again, we know a recession's coming. It's in the data. I mean, I was telling you guys about the real estate market, some of the places. I mean, in half a mile in certain parts of Colorado, 28 listings, 18 price reductions. 18. This has not been seen in a while. And again, I don't know about the market really collapsing, but it just means like, yeah, people are not going to be as confident when they see home prices coming down. That's all that matters. It's perception. Whether the reality is a crash, I don't know. It's different, in my opinion. It's a little different. But every recession, every pullback, every cause is different. Like, you're not getting the same circumstances that you got in the 1920s, as you got in the 1970s, you got in 2000. Can it all similar, blend, and mix? Yes. TLTs, we talked about the best trade, in my opinion. I think lower rates, 12 price, 12, is it 8 to 12? I don't know, rate cuts being priced in the Fed fund futures in time. I think interest rates will be going lower. TLT should go higher. Will it be a straight line move? No, nothing is. We talked about hitting these levels, backing off, hitting it again, backing off, holding the 8, 10 day worth watching. Again, maybe even the 20 day. Again, I like buying the dips, selling the rips on this thing. It's so easy. A caveman can do it. Geico. Dollar, we talked about it breaking the range, coming down, now bouncing a little. Seems a little oversold. People running into dollar for protection. Makes sense. VIX, the biggest crush I've ever seen in a straight line, essentially. 65 down to 14. That is freaking nuts. We said the risk was now to the upside in the VIX and the downside in the market. In the worst case, chop in the market. Well, you're starting to get some upside in VIX products. As we talked about, the VIX bottoms first. Look at that. Look at that. Again, if you're paying attention to the channel, you recognize stuff, you're starting to learn a little bit, leave a comment below, hit the heart button, please share. And if you want to donate, again, link is in the description below. I appreciate it. Even if it's $5 to say, thanks, bro, go buy a joint on me. Sure, in Colorado, it is legal. Buy a beer on me. That's cool. SPY. Again, if you really need help, I mean, you can, I wouldn't say buy me off, but again, if you want to pay for time and money and effort, I'm always here. Again, I'm still by nature someone who responds to that kind of thing. Not like you could buy them up and like, what's the best way to like, again, if you want to pay me for my time, I have no problem with that. If you just want to donate or if you just want to chat, it doesn't matter. Again, I've always, if you follow the channel, sorry, I'll rant before I go on SPY. I believe in an abundant universe. You give to get. You give, you share, the universe brings it back. If you want to be on the sharing side, cool. If you need some help, I got you, dog. SPY fills the gap. Pulls back. You got a multi-day range here. Watch the 8-10 day, this little area here. I mean, again, if I'm watching going in tomorrow morning, I'm expecting to see these prices at some point. And when I say some point, right, just see what happens here when you get down to 553 plus 8 day. Again, I'm taking notes. You guys don't realize sometimes when I'm doing this, I'm actually reviewing the markets and doing the review, and I take notes. Keep an eye on it. QQQ, as we talked about, why I don't think the market's strong. The old leaders are not leading. Look at the Qs today. Pops up, holding the 50 in the 8-10 day. Again, this gap, trend line. I mean, it has probably at worst, again, think about this long term. It looks like a potential head and shoulders, right? Here's your left shoulder, here's your head, here's your right shoulder. Keep an eye on it. There's going to be some pullback. It's just, again, how deep, how far, how long, how fast. Probability-based game. More you're up, less you're on. Again, be careful shorting. Remember, shorting is not a long-term investment, in my opinion, unless it's a certain stock. But indexes, fudge, no. You have to trade around them. You just have to. IWM, because again, people don't realize the average bear market rally is 17%. That's a big drawdown if you're short. IWM attempts to fill the gap, chopping up, watching the 20-day, 8-day, keeping on it. DIA held up pretty well today. I mean, we're keeping on. Eye on a piece of pepper. Sorry, I had lunch with a salad. Interesting candle. Is this a lower high? A rejection of the trend line? I don't know. Because again, you can draw this. I mean, you might be able to like fudge it and kind of do that and thicken the bar. I mean, but you get my point. We're at a trend line. That's why we talk about don't bring a ruler, approximate it. Again, if you expect perfection, I'm going to pick the price on the top is going to be it's going to be 408,735. No, you're not. Stop it. You don't know the trade that ends up being the last. Gold, interesting action today, attempting to break out, pulls back. As we talked about, be careful of metals and miners and drawbacks. Even silver, again, people get really mad when I'm like, oh, they throw the baby out the bathwater. Notice how silver's not making new highs. Notice what happened today in the GDX, right? We talked about the GDX should be following the GDXJ, but the GDXJ isn't leading. Well, look what happened. It got back to the highs. Again, I'm not saying it's definitely going to melt down, but it's worth watching. If the market pulls back, they throw the baby out with the bathwater. And this is one of the things I was trying to warn people about, the miners. GDXJ should be over 49, should be over 50 leading. It wasn't. It was lagging. Think about the junior miners, the most highly leveraged asset of this asset class, right? Think about it, of gold. So you have gold, silver, big miners, then junior miners. Junior miners are the most risky. If the trend is strong for gold and silver prices, junior miners are flying. They always lead. They're not leading here. Just worth noting. AEM, talked about this one being a high flyer. High flyer. AG, again, pulling back. Not surprised. AG lagging. Again, you think this miner would be up at 8. No. Newmont here again. Another thing that's like an anomaly. Newmont should be in the 80s, y'all. 70s. I don't know. Whatever you 60s. Okay, gets up into our resistance zone. Just worth a watch. Pass. I said pass on. I mean, again, I think these guys might get bought out. I like these names. I wouldn't post them if they didn't, but just be careful. Taiwan Semi. Again, let's get into tech because I think this is where the easiest shorts have been. Put your pants on. We're shorting in certain places. Talked about multi-day range. Look at the last couple of days lagging. Big red. Micron. Talked about watching the 108, 110 area. Here you go. Gets up to 111.30. So 111 on the dot. Trap, bull trap at the highs. Think about bull traps and bear traps at the lows, right? Here's your trap. Here's your wick. Here's like the opposite of this. Now you should expect this to come down. Define your risk. Again, there's nothing permanent. AM Dizzle. Again, I love this stuff, y'all, because it is repeating patterns. It's not perfect. Take the ego out of it. I'm telling you, it's not hard. It just can be challenging. That's the word to describe it at times. Talked about this popping up at all these moving averages. Said this candle looked a little freaking doji topish. Boo. Now again, does this mean it has to collapse? I don't know. At worst, you're going to get some chop. NVIDIA, again, if you started buying NVDS somewhere in these 30s, mid-low 30s, I mean, I even have a little bit from the high 30s. I got stopped out and then started re-adding. Happens to lose. We said watch this range here. Dinga. So far, so good. Keep it on. SMCI rallied like we talked about. Again, a lot of oversold rallies, but it's now struggling with the 20-day. I personally would wait. I like this, I think, in time, but not chasing. Intel, I mean, even, man, Intel, we talked about the gap down, and then you get in the chop. You're in the chop. You got up towards the gap. You failed. Now you're pulling back. Again, people are like, oh, the stock is a good one. I'm like, good one. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And when I say it, I don't know about that, I mean, I really don't. I don't think I would be touching it. I don't think I'd be touching it. Okay? Be careful. That's all I can say. 50-day. Adobe said watch the range highs. Look at today's action. Look at this bull trap. You got to my resistance zone. Failure. Apple been building shorts on this thing. Multi-day ranging up here. Said watch the doji. Opens high, closes low. Again, there's no red alerts on this, but if the market pulls back, Apple could start leading. Just keep that in mind. Amazon, we talked about it. Doji getting up into here, filling some gaps. Big red. Meta, it's interesting up here. Look at this trap, y'all. Look at this wick. Gets over the highs. Barely. That is a bull trap. You break out and give it up. Again, probability-wise, if it's a bull trap, the odds of it are going down are stronger. But again, odds. If someone is selling you security or certainty in the market, run. CRM. Talked about this retesting this range high around 260s. Bing, got it. Guggenheim said this has been lagging, been a little sus. Okay, not surprised it's pulling back. Microsoft, right? Here you go. Said this 425 area. Bing, 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 bing. Got it. 426. Sorry, Dan, you suck. No. NDAQ, look at this today. Rallied at the close. Interesting. But again, if you want one that I think is prime for a short, there you go. MSTR, like you could do it tomorrow, like at the price. You could log in after this freaking thing and short some shares. I think with $1 or $2 stop, you'd be fine. MicroStrategy, we talked about this zone here. 20-day failure. Netflix, thing's been on fire. Look at this 700 club. Look at this. We said Doji. So long wick, bull trap, breaks out. Do you know? If you don't know what a bull trap is, go please watch the videos. It's when you break out and give it back and close near the breakout point or below it. Then you doji, and now you doji again, gapping down. Roblox, man, we talked about this one. This has been powerful. Like, again, in the sense of, like, it looked like it was going to break out. You got over the resistance range. But here's the hardest thing. If the market doesn't give it if you're not going, rising tide lifts all boats. Well, if the tide's down, Roblox might be stuck here. Watch for it to give it back the 43s, 42 zone. Tesla, Pan W. A lot of people are like, oh man, it's breaking out. Okay, well, here you go. I like this company, but again, Pelosi's buying this. No problem saying long term, I think you'll be fine. But here's the thing, I don't want to buy stocks and go long when I feel like the market has more risk reward to the downside. I just won't do it. I just won't. Again, if you're an investor, disappear, probably gonna be fine. But as a trader, no. Tesla, same thing. Talked about it, like trying to break out of all these old trend lines. 50-day, big red candle. Insight, again, I like this company. I think you can buy this company and disappear and buy it and just leave it. But here you go. If the market's going to pull back, I'm waiting for the 50s. I've been very consistent on this. Pfizer, again, here's a stock that makes sense. The trend line, not going anywhere. Leave it alone. McDonald's, this thing's been acting strong. I got to give it credit where credit's due. This is one that'd be hard to short right here. Just not really sure. DKNG, and we talked about this. Big gap down, oversold. Said watch filling the gap. Look at that. Hit the 50-day to the T. Dink. Rejection. Again, if you're stalking these trades, you're freaking making money. Airbnb, talked about this gapping down, chopping around. Kind of looks like Intel. Leave it alone. Costco, interesting up here, right? Said yesterday's wick. Wiki. Watch it. Again, I mean, they have more risk to the downside. Starbucks, as we talked about, gapping up. It's probably going to go nowhere. Put on a huge multiple real quick with the new CEO. It's going to chop to drop, in my opinion. FedEx, holding up pretty damn well. Got to give it credit where credit's due. I don't know if it needs to fill the gap, but it definitely closed right at the gap bottom. So if you want to set an alarm for 296, I'd be watching it so that if it comes in that 297, 298, remember, expect some bull trap sometimes. Caterpillar, I mean, this has been like, I don't even know what the IV is on this system. The IV could be like zero now. Like, there's no volatility. It's just 100-day hold. DE, we talked about Deere, longer term channel, bounce off the range bottoms. There was a trade there, 340 to 380, not too shabby. Nucor, we talked about. I like steel names, but they're just going to go nowhere. Again, this is the part of the video. For the next 30 seconds, I'm going to go. Love materials. Just let them chop around. Let them come down. Let them just be what they got to do. Let them shake all the weak hands. They go like Jesse Livermore. Like, let the operators shake out all the volume they need. And then when you're ready, we'll be ready. When they're ready to let it rise, we'll be there watching. CCJ, again, Arrow, we like all these names. Cool. CF, again, it's a big, just big chop out ranges. I hate to be blatantly, again, skip it if you want. Mosaic, NTR, they all look the same, right? We like them long term, chopping around, right? AA, chopping, like them long term. Aluminum, who doesn't like aluminum? Watching the low 20s. XLF, interesting close at the high. Doesn't make sense to me. I'm loading FAS here under 9. Got stopped out of some. Okay, wrong is wrong, I know. But the risk reward makes sense to me. Maybe it bull traps. Maybe that's a stupid thing I should be waiting for, is for it to get to like 45, 50 or something. But doing what I'm doing. JP Morgan, I've been wrong before. Not every time. You don't always bull trap and bear trap bottoms. Sometimes you retest. Look at this, watching the highs. Morgan Stanley. Here's one that did not make a retest of the highs. Chopping around. Bank of America. This is one that's not going to retest the highs. Watching the 200 day. Goldman Snacks. Again, talking fast. Watching the highs. Made a lower high. Failing. Gary. Cool. Nice little dead cat bounce again. We talked about this 20-day. Chop around. XBI, here you go. Risk on name should be breaking out if the market's strong. We talked about you could have shorted this yesterday or watching the zone or short today. Congratulations if you did. I think the risk reward is in your favor. Define your risk. Please define your risk. Have stops. Do not short forever. Housing index, look at this. Fills the gap. Doji today. This might be on your radar for a short tomorrow with a defined risk, a very defined risk. Easy trade. Makes sense? Again, leave a comment below if you're not sure. TAN, we talked about solar being trash. Again, skip the next 30 seconds. Sedge, trash. And PH, trash. We talked about the like 120, 119 area failing, question mark. Looks like it. First solar, now you're back in the video. Cool. We talked about like this 230 area. Wish to hit the 50-day, but if it breaks the 100-day, you should be coming back down. Said HYG, you got to be high to your mind to be buying corporate debt, in my opinion. Keep an eye on this, see if it starts melting. Oil and gas, again, we talked about oil being oversold near term. Okay, be a geopolitical risk, it's real. UNG, I hate the UNG. I've said why. Look at this thing, down, 5%? Remember, the best trade is to short KOLD, in my opinion, when it rallies. I like to see it higher, worth a watch. XOP, as we talked about, started looking a little ugly last couple days. 3-day range, watch what happens. CVE, again, we like oil and gas. on pullbacks for the long term to buy going long. Just worth a watch. Valero, we talked about the gasoline names not leading up. They've been acting like really sluggish, especially Valero. MPC has more European exposure. Still not really much of anything. ExxonMobil looks like it's going to break out. Gives it right back, right? Occidentals we talked about, like, looks amazing right here in these ranges. But when you zoom out, it's like, I'm just going to let it play out. EQT, again, another one in a big choppy range. Love it, but going to leave it. Flex LNG, love it with its 11% dividend yield or whatever the hell it is, but going to leave it. So, again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. Let me know what you're struggling with. Leave a comment below. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It means a lot to me, again, because if you showed up to this channel looking for help, take it if you really need it. Again, I offer it freely, and maybe one day it won't be, but while it is, again, the universe puts you in touch with where we're at right now for help, and don't be scared to take it. So see you guys and gals in the Discord room, or hit me up. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.